What is up, everybody? We're going to go over all of these trades, and I'm going to break down tape and DOM in those trades. I often get asked, how do you read order flow? How do you know what all that stuff means? How do you find buyers and sellers? How do you know who's in control? I get so many questions from a lot of people. And my question to you is, first and foremost, are you recording and reviewing your sessions? Are you even demo trading, trying to use order flow? Have you watched my tick drill series? If you've not seen the tick drill series, you should probably watch that. And if you've not done any of that, then these are questions that just simply can't be answered, right? There is no... a lot of traders I notice want these rigid fucking answers. And I don't know. I blame all these other trading channels because they give you rigid answers, right? If the MACD does this, this is when you should buy. This is when you sell. If this happens, this is when you should buy. This is when you should sell. That's not how trading fucking works, okay? Trading is a very fluid thing. Trying to trade a rigid level in a rigid area and trying to use order flow in a rigid manner does not fucking work. You cannot analyze order flow in a rigid manner. Order flow. The word flow. What does the word flow mean to you? It's the way orders are flowing into it. It is a fluid thing. Your trading should be fluid. You're going to have a fluid outlook when you're reading the order flow. And a huge problem is a lot of people take something like, I'm going to argue here and say I don't think Footprint is reading order flow. I know I'm going to take some flack on that shit, but I just don't give a fuck what you guys think, because we're going to watch these trades here, and I'm going to show you what I think reading order flow is. I mean, I have a bunch of content on this channel where I break down the DOM and tape and what's going on. So if you're curious, watch a lot of this channel, okay? And then you should probably get some sort of idea what's going on. I did a Footprint video here on what I think about Footprint, and in my opinion, a Footprint is literally a volume profile. It is the same data. It is market orders that are going in on a chart, except for, you're taking order flow, and what you're doing is you're fucking making it look like a chart. So you're taking order flow and you're making it look like a chart. And in my opinion, that's not reading order flow, because you're looking at all these old orders that happen in different areas and different spots from 5-10 fucking minutes ago. And that shit doesn't matter. Can that be useful and helpful for setting up a trade? Yes, it can. So I'm not saying Footprint is completely fucking useless. But what matters is what's happening in the moment. What is happening in the moment? When a bunch of buy orders are hitting, how's that reacting? How's that making the DOM react, right? Are offers pulling? Are bids pulling? Is there a huge iceberg in a certain area? All those things can mean drastically different things under specific context. What matters first and foremost is my setups, using higher time frame analysis and coming down into smaller time frames, finding a setup, not because of order flow. I do want to look at order flow throughout the session, but when I get into the trade, the order flow is something I'm going to use right before the entry and right as soon as I get into it as a management tool. So in my opinion, order flow is more of a management tool. It's not something you want to be just taking trades off of, because it ain't going to fucking work out first and foremost. For you like that. I mean, you could maybe, but you can't just say here's what buyers are in control here, sellers are in control there. That's not how it works. Sometimes the order flow isn't really giving a clear sign of who's in control. It's so mixed up, but the trade ends up moving in your favor because you played a setup, right? Sometimes you get into a trade and it's pretty clear that buyers were in control right before you got into it, and it moved ever so slightly, and now sellers are in control. What you got to understand is as soon as you get into the fucking trade, you're at the mercy of somebody else hitting the order after you. So if I go long, I'm at the mercy of other people buying shittier prices to move the market in my fucking favor. And are they going to come in? I don't fucking know. I can't predict the future. Okay? I simply cannot. All I can do is react to the information as it's flowing into the market. Okay? So buyers might have been in control as soon as you got into the trade, but it moves a few ticks in your favor, and then all of a sudden sellers start taking over. Or there's less aggressive buying. Right? Because you have limit orders and market orders. If you've not watched my video on limit orders versus market orders, you probably should see that. Okay? Because there are so many components going on. You have limit order buy, which is a defensive positioning. That's where you're going to see passiveness. That's where you're going to see icebergs. That's where you're going to see absorption. You got passive orders on the sell side. Then you have market order sells and market order buys. You have 4 different order types coming in. And if you don't understand how those are ebbing and flowing and interacting with each other, because there can be several different combinations, right? You can have strong buy passive orders, strong sell passive orders, and you can have weak market orders on both sides, and then the market ain't really moving. Maybe you have strong buying on the market orders, but you have strong passive selling on the offers. They're reloading it, but they're not being aggressive by actively selling into the bid. So there's all these different combinations of how all these 4 orders can be combined. They can be combined in several different ways, and it adds up to several different combinations. And as you move a point, 2 points, that area is going to be different. Every tick is going to have some sort of different buying and selling going on. Right? Because that's how the market trades. As it goes up in your favor or doesn't move or goes sideways, every tick has something different going on. There are people transacting at each of these different ticks. And if somebody wants to control it temporarily, they will. So when you look at the market, it isn't just one buyer is in control or one seller. Especially in the ES E-mini, what you got to understand is there's a fuckload of buyers and sellers doing different things on different time frames in different fucking areas. Okay? I suggest understanding what auction market theory is. I do have a video on it. Do more research, though. And if you can understand auction market theory, then you might be able to try to figure out when buyers or sellers are in control. But you're not necessarily going to find big moves off order flow because of that. So let's talk about order flow. Order flow is a feel thing. A lot of traders, what they do is they try to look at order flow. A lot of you guys are complaining because it's too, what do? How do you look at it? Fucking do the tick drills first and foremost and just try. The way I figured it out was sitting here hours after hours of just staring at this shit until it started to kind of make sense. Record, review, trade. Record, review your trades. You know, do that shit. Keep fucking doing that. Keep staring at it, and at some point it's going to start to make a little bit of sense. As you do it year after year after year, it makes more and more and more sense. And there's no way I can convey 5 years of order flow experience to you guys in a fucking hour-long video. There's just no way you're going to get it. Experience is how you fucking figure out if there might be buyers or sellers in control. Trying to read order flow is like trying to explain what love is or chocolate. What does chocolate taste like to somebody that's never tasted chocolate in their life? Or love? Can you explain love? What is love? Can you explain it? If you think you can explain it, put it in the comments. But I bet you can't really explain it. Love is a feeling. It's a feeling. You cannot explain a feeling like that. The taste of chocolate. The taste of chocolate. Oh, it's sweet. Okay, yeah, but there's a lot of shit that's sweet. What does chocolate fucking taste like? Can you really explain that? No, you can't. Because you can put this idea in people's heads, but until they experience it themselves, they will never fucking know. Same thing with tripping on fucking mushrooms. Anybody that's ever done a psychedelic trip, You can't fucking explain that. But the people that have experienced it, fellow order flow traders, if you understand where I'm coming from, if you've experienced it, then you understand. But if you've not experienced it, you won't understand. And the only way to experience order flow is by trying to trade it and trying to make sense of it. And a lot of you guys, you know, are coming from charting and technical analysis and all this other bullshit. So you're trying to look at order flow from that perspective, and that does not work. You cannot look at order flow from the perspective of this rigid system with it happened over the course of time. And that's why I don't like footprints, is because footprint is literally market orders, but it's not showing you the limit orders. So you're missing the context of the limit orders, first and foremost. And that's just as important. Why would you only want to see half the information? And the problem is, once the orders come in, that's old fucking news. Old news does not move the fucking market. It simply doesn't. Sure, somebody might have absorbed right here, but are they going to absorb right the fuck now? What matters is fresher order flow. And as soon as it's hitting the market, it starts to get older and older and less relevant. And then every time new orders are hitting, that is more relevant. And then it just sort of fades to the point it doesn't matter anymore. So just because you saw absorption on your footprint doesn't mean it's still going to be there. A footprint, in my opinion, is the same thing as a volume profile. The only difference is, instead of having your buy and sell market orders smashed together and combined, and I have videos on this, guys, instead of having your market order buys and your market order sells smashed together like a volume profile, all a footprint does is split it to the individual buy and sell orders. And then what people do is they use a chart method. They might make 5-minute footprint charts or tick charts or whatever the fuck it is. What you guys do is you make it look like a fucking normal chart, except for you have volume inside of it. And all that volume's fucking old fucking news. You're not reading order flow. You're not reading the orders as they flow into the market right the fuck now. You're looking at old shit. So all that old shit doesn't fucking matter, and this is my opinion, right? Do you need to read a DOM and tape to be successful in trading? No, you don't. But when people are fucking asking me for my opinion, this is how I feel, and I'm going to have strong opinions on shit, okay? So, to me, the real way to read order flow is the time and sales and your fucking depth of market. Because those two tools show you both order types, markets and limits. And then it shows you the buy markets, the sell markets, the buy limits, the sell limits. And if you can just look at those two tools as one unit, okay? If you can look at those two tools as one unit, okay? And not just look at a time and sales, not just look at a DOM, but if you can practice and combine them to where you see the interaction in the relationship and it's one thing to you, it's no longer two separate tools, then you can start to see if the buyers or sellers might be in control right here, right now. Sometimes the order flow is random as fuck. Sometimes the market is so volatile that, I mean, yes, it does matter at times. It shouldn't be fully discounted, but you have to learn how to connect and disconnect with the order flow. You have to learn how to adjust it with the volatility. You have to learn how to incorporate it with your setups. It is merely a tool, a component that standalone isn't going to do you justice. And if you just don't have enough experience with it, you didn't trip on order flow, if you will. Going back to the psychedelic analogy, if you've not experienced it, if you've not felt it, you will never fucking understand no matter what the fuck I say. And I'm going to show you fucking examples. I know you want me to get to that, but this is important. Okay? Order flow is feeling the market. Order flow is literally feeling the market. When you get decent at reading it, you can feel it. And when you can feel the market's pulse, when it's increasing, when it's decreasing, you can, it really starts to paint a huge, like a bigger picture. Like it just makes shit make more fucking sense, if you will. Okay? Not like, again, it's just a tool. It's just a fucking tool that standalone I don't think is that great personally. But without it, I feel you're completely not able to feel the market. And learning order flow is a lot different than learning charting, than profiles, technical analysis. It is a different type of learning experience than those things. It is a completely different fucking thing. Okay? And the problem is you've got to go into that understanding that is completely unique and different. So you can't go into it trying to use your current market knowledge to try to understand how to read it. You just have to experience it. So stop asking rigid questions and fucking just practice. Okay? It's not a rigid thing. One thing in the order flow could mean fucking 50 different things under different circumstances. And as you gain more experience, you can kind of gauge what it might more specifically mean. Okay, so now let's go ahead. We're going to look at these all of these trades again. Let's look at the first entry, which is going to be, give me just a second. So this is 1 minute before the trade entry. Because if we go 2-3 minutes back in time, that order flow doesn't fucking matter. So let's look at it, and I'm not talking about my setups, so there are specific reasons why I'm taking trades. So we're just looking at fucking order flow. We're not looking at my setups, what I'm looking at on the Sierra charts here on the left. We're not looking at volume profile. We're not looking at anything else other than the time and sales and the depth of market. Really, I need to black this entire fucking screen out so you guys ain't even fucking looking at any of this other shit. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. Okay, now I have everything, blacked out because I know some of you are gonna be trying to look at everything else to try to understand my setups and shit. You're missing the point of the video. And when it comes to tick drills, I tell you to do this very fucking thing. So we're going to be looking at just order flow. And if you would like to purchase Jigsaw Trading, that's what this depth of market is. You can save $30. The affiliate link is in the description. And then you can use my coupon code if you've been considering it. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the first trade here. So let's look at the actual order flow. So it's all retail. And notice how it just kind of flew up like that. Do you notice that? Watch this. So we got a bunch of big selling that came in. Market just goes up after big selling. What that's telling me is the offers are weak. Okay? So that's telling me, yeah, there was aggressive sellers down here. They couldn't push it down, and the market shot up. So therefore, the offers, which is passive orders, are simply not there. Notice how 6, 7, 13, 18, and 8 lots all came in. What happened was a bunch of orders pulled. But the thing is, I'm pausing in this video, and now you know that. That's something you need to catch in the midst of the moment without pausing it. Watch without pausing it. Can you catch that? Can you catch that there's going to be a bunch of large sell orders coming in? Oh, large sell orders. But it's not going down, and it just shot up. And that's pretty fast. So this is where the experience of just trying to understand what's going on is going to be hard if you can't read it quickly, and you need to practice to be able to read it quickly. So I know that the offers are weak. Well, it kind of flowed back down. Now the market is dancing. Now it's shoving up again on weak offers. No big buyers or sellers. The retail tape is going incredibly fast. So what you can do is you can look at the retail tape, and if you've not seen my time and sales video, I talk about why I have 3 times in sales, because there are 3 separate time and sales windows. That retail tape, when it starts flowing in, I'm not reading every fucking order, but how fast is it coming in, and is it slowing down? It's like a gas pedal. The faster it comes in, the more likely the move is going to go. Now, is that always true? No. But can that be true sometimes? Yeah. So can it work? Can it not work? Yeah and yeah. So therefore, you really never know. So what you got to do is you got to put that in context with a setup and all sorts of other shit for it to potentially be a good or bad indicator for whether you want to get into a trade or not. And also what just happened down here matters, okay? And if you're looking at a fucking footprint, you ain't seeing this shit because a footprint totals all the orders up. Your footprint didn't show you 23, 45, 46, 44, and 221 orders hit. These 221 orders right here, that's probably the same seller because that's a weird number, okay? So you're not seeing that on footprint because it combines it. So is it being moved on retail order or large orders? How's the market reacting off large orders versus small orders? And a footprint ain't showing you that shit, folks. This, to me, is real order flow reading. This tool here, because this is the rawest data at the source. Okay? So it just falls down. Weak bids right there. It's starting to dance around. Pretty quick retail lots. No bigger traders hitting. Right? It's jerking around. It's getting tighter. A lot of heavy flow here. Now it's starting to pin up. Coming in. Coming right back down. Just kind of flowing a lot of retail. Kind of staying at the... Now it's starting to... Seems to be picking up a little more. Now we have bigger... orders that came in. Notice how we had bigger buy orders come in and the market slammed down. That tells me that they bought, but the bids were weak when that happened. So that's who's in control. No one really at this fucking point. I mean, it's just fucking chopping and shit. But that little snippet of information gives me a little, you know, it could mean something if I'm trying to take a trade right here. So now we're stalling. Now we have sell orders come in. Okay, now the buyers actually are holding against these sell orders. These two sell orders that came in didn't just make the market pop back up, okay? So the offers aren't weak, but the buyers are also passively absorbing as well down here, unlike they were up here. Whatever happened up here is not what's happening down here. Whoever traded up here and most of the people that probably traded up there are not trading down here. Unless it's a large institution who's trying to push orders over a wider range of prices. But trying to figure out who's doing what really doesn't even fucking matter. Okay? Anyways, market shoves back down. Right? We had some bigger seller order. So right in here, it kind of seems like a weak area because when we came up from here, it went up really fast. And when we're coming back through here, it went down really quickly. So we know the market's getting stuck up here and we know the market gets stuck down here. So now again, it's moving. The volatility of the movements is a lot higher. You can see I'm going for a long based off of a fucking setup. Based solely off a fucking setup. Not necessarily the fucking order flow. So I get into I'm getting ready to try to attempt to get filled as the market slams back into me because in this type of volatility, I don't want to get right on the fucking spread. I want to be a little ways away because it's probably going to jerk down. And I know this area is relatively weak. I know the market is just shoving and pushing through here relatively easily on retail volume. Slams down. Okay, now, right now, anything can happen. This trade could go against me and I could fucking lose. Okay? Now I'm going to really pay attention to the order flow. So it's staying below me, which isn't good. So I'm going to break even. Right? And that's simply just fucking price action. I know this area is slippery. It slams in me. It comes up to my fucking entry price. And it is not trading a tick above me. So clearly, it's being held right here. Get out for a break even. And then it ends up going. Okay, and all these big buyers that came in that just now shoved the fucking trade up. Did I know that was going to happen? No, I fucking didn't. Okay, What I'm doing is this volatility is pretty intense, and I just need to be quick about making decisions. It either better work right the fuck away, and if it ain't working right away, I need to get the fuck out of it. Okay? So, yes, and this was a setup, and the setup was right. Had I just waited a little bit longer, it could have potentially worked, but I didn't. So, did order flow really help with that setup? I mean, I couldn't tell who was in control there, buyers or sellers. Could you? I'm doing that based off auction market theory. And that's a whole different thing than order flow. But the way the orders are moving and stuff is keying me off to little things. I know orders are pulling here. I know this area is slippery. I know buyers or sellers are not in control of this area. I know the bids and offers are more prone to fucking change here. I got into the trade. Clearly, it's being held down in this moment. So what we're going to do is we need to look at more fucking examples. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the second trade, which is going to be at 8:37. So it's coming right up. So we don't need to move the video at all. Market goes right the fuck down. We had a bunch of fucking buying at the 90.89 level right here. Notice how the market's getting stuck at the 89 level. So now we know there is aggressive buyers here, and now they're being passive and willing to hold at this point. So buyers are theoretically in control in this moment right the fuck here. Okay? But are they going to be in control up here? We don't fucking know. Will they be in control if it tests there again? We don't fucking know. So the market is kind of getting stuck here. We're really not seeing any selling, and they're actively shoving the market up here. Now we're getting passive selling. A lot of big buyers, huge buyers. Market's not slamming down. There it goes. It's slammed down. So weak bids in this area. The bids got weak in this area, so they bought up in here, but all of a sudden now things have shifted, right? Okay, now the market's going down. I'm trying to get short. Why? Because of setup, because of auction market theory. But do I want to know about that order flow information? Absolutely, because that's showing me that there are weak bids here. There's a lot of aggressive buying, but there is no passive buying in this region. So therefore, that there might be a chance in combination with the setup that this could work. I missed the fucking setup. Okay? What I'm doing is I'm gonna get short down here because of the setup and because of other fucking things that have nothing to do with fucking order flow. Right? And the market, and then I cancel all the orders off because I'm not getting filled right away. Because notice how it's kind of going up, going up, going up. It's getting stuck here, but it keeps testing this 87.50. We'll watch that again. Watch as it goes down. See, I want to get swept into it, but it's getting stuck right here. And if it keeps getting stuck like this and shooting up, there might be a stop run up, and I don't want to get filled on that. I want to get filled right away. So when I'm getting into a trade, if I ain't getting filled right away, then everything's different. Because, yes, because of the order flow. Right? So I'm not just looking at the order flow, I'm looking at the actual jerking of the DOM. Is it going up and then dumping down? Is it going up and then dumping down? So the market's going down. And we know it gets stuck here because it was getting stuck here prior. And this is in this middle area is where it just keeps shooting back and fucking forth, back and forth. Right? So I'm watching it carefully. I want to get short here. Weak bids. It's puking. This is low of days, and I'm not getting short because of its low of days. It's because of auction market theory, volume profile, and specific setups. And I've already talked about this in one of the prior videos, 2 videos ago, about if I do a profile auction market theory video, it's going to be a 30-hour long video, and I'm selling that shit. So I ain't going to be explaining that shit right now. All I'm doing is explaining fucking order flow. So now it's getting stuck here. Look, I've canceled the fucking order. Why? Because it needs to get filled. It needs to get filled now. And all of a sudden, a fuckload of buyers come in. And I know I run the risk of getting ran the fuck over. Because the longer something's taking, the more likely something else is going to happen. When I want to get into a trade, it better fucking work. Okay? Is that always the case? No, but in this type of volatility, that is the case. Notice there's a lot of large buyers that came in. Guess what? The market is starting to come back down. Okay? So the bids up in this section are weak. Get filled here. But I know that there is passive buying here. And I know there was aggressive buying on the tape here. But we had weaker offers, and the buyers did not continue to take this up. So I'm acting on that information plus my setups. So you're missing a fuckload of context, okay? Because just looking at this order flow ain't enough. So it's going against me. That's the problem. All right? So I'm watching it carefully. I'm willing to let it test me in this specific region because of a setup. So we get bigger sellers here. We know buyers were being passive here. We know buyers just try to second shove up there, but it's starting to tick lower and lower. So there may be a puke down lower. It's getting stuck here. There we go. Large liquidity, big selling. So that large offer comes in with large selling. That is a good combination. And that is showing you in this spot, sellers are in control. Okay, and I like that. All that does is make me feel better about the position. So that's what I'm reading order flow in context right here. I like that. Notice I didn't trade because of that. And as soon as that happens, if I try to take a fucking trade down here, it's going to look, if I try to take a trade down here just because of that, it ain't working. Right? It ain't fucking working. Because you would have took the trade right here after you would have seen that based off of large sellers. It ain't fucking working. And if it pulls back up here, the large sellers may not be there. But if these large sellers didn't be aggressive on both ends of the market and limit orders, then I'd be losing confidence. And as this is tweaking back up, then I'd be more likely to pull the trade. But since that happened, I'm confident now. Because they're clearly in control of that specific region. And that helped propel the move further in my fucking favor. So now we have liquidity here. The market's getting stuck here. Sellers aren't here. I just pull a one lot off right there. It happens so quick you can't even fucking see it. Right there. Why did I pull a one lot? Because it's getting stuck here. The aggressive selling that happened here ain't fucking happening down here. Buyers are obviously putting up a defense here, right? Because the way the markets work is it's literally a battle for every fucking tick, and what fucking happened up here don't mean it's gonna happen down here. Because if there's large sellers that got in here, they're relying on other traders to sell shittier prices. Just like when I got up here at 84, I'm relying on sellers to sell shittier prices, and this guy sold a shittier price than me. And it's all based off setups. Cancel that order because it's a place marker. Going to adjust my stop. It's far enough that I can do that. Now we're breaking through. We're starting to see a bit of reloading here. Notice how it's reloading. It's getting stuck. It's absorbing. Bigger buyers are coming in, but it went down, and then we had sellers following with that. Right? Getting high flow on the retail tape. Getting more block orders. Somebody's chasing with an offer. Notice how this offer is coming down. So whoever this is desperately trying to get filled. Look how they're dumping it down. They're desperately trying to get filled. This isn't somebody trying to shove the market down. Why? Watch what happens. Right? Well, we're gonna slow it the fuck down. Take it down. Okay, so they're at 76, 75. We're gonna slow motion this. right here, only 24 lots are there. There's 138. They're chasing it. They're at 126. There's only 75 there. Boom. Boom. 212. A bunch of big buy orders hit it. That does not mean somebody's trying to shove the market down. What you have to understand is the ES has less liquidity than it did before COVID. Go watch my videos before COVID, and the order book is a lot thicker than it is now. The DOM and the blue and red columns is thicker than it is now. People want liquidity. Why? Because we're going in a fucking recession, folks. We're trading at 38.76 right here. We are not at 3,800. We are 1,000 fucking points from all-time highs, okay? We are having an economic issue on a fundamental basis. People are looking for liquidity, right? And I said this in my prior video, not the course video, but the one before that. I'll put it right here. Or the sweeping video. I'm sorry, the sweeping video. If you've not watched the sweeping video, watch that. If you've not watched most of my videos, you should probably fucking watch them. Okay? Because that might answer some of your fucking questions. And that sweeping video, just because you have a fucking large offer coming in, large traders need to trade with each other. This guy that traded 74 and 37 lots into him, if these offers weren't that big, the offers could have pulled, and him just pressing that order, he could have experienced massive slippage and a lot of sweeping would have happened. Again, watch that fucking video. But what happened is the buyers saw that there was a seller there, and that's a lot of liquidity, and he's going to be able to hit a lot of larger market buy orders without shoving the market up too much, because whoever the buyer is right here is trying not to buy the market and get it to go up. He's trying to get in a fuckload of lots because he's a large buyer. Now, that doesn't mean there's one large buyer here. There could be several other large buyers here because it is the ESE Mini after all. And a lot of you motherfuckers think it's always one fucking guy who's doing all this shit. Like it's the Illuminati that's buying all the time or some shit. That's not the fucking case. Institutions trade against each other for different reasons, okay? Why? We don't know, but who gives a fuck, all right? So, what we're going to want to do is this trade actually starts to come back to me. We're going to continue to watch it. Oh, and normal speed, not slow motion. Right? Same thing here. Somebody just put 184 lots right there. And watch what happens. Boom, 134 hit it. This is two large traders looking for liquidity. Or one large buyer is providing liquidity and a large seller is taking it. They smell each other right here, so they're trading with each other. So who's in control? We don't fucking know, but there is a lot of bigger buyers. All we know is there's larger traders willing to transact based off of that goofy ass fucking information that came in. So right here, this sideways action is fair market value. So we have two-way trading going on. Nobody's necessarily in control right here. Going up. Okay, weak offers. The thing just blows the fuck out. So there's weak offers here. The retail tape is speeding up. We come back down. We're not seeing large sellers. Somebody's providing liquidity up here. The market might want to go and hit that. We don't know. It might or it might not. They may chase it. They may not. We're getting stuck here. Okay. Here we go. Somebody pulled that fucking order. So that order ended up getting fucking pulled. So they got out of the way. Large buyers are in control. We have weak offers and we have aggressive buying. We don't necessarily have passive buying in this location, but we don't have aggressive selling, and we have weak market or weak limits on the offers, and we have aggressive buying. So we know in this region, buyers were in control. But does that mean you should buy up here? Does that, or should maybe you wait for a pullback? Maybe you can wait for a pullback, a little pullback. So this is the slight pullback. Are buyers going to buy a fuckload? Maybe. We're not seeing that, but maybe they're going to be passive. We're not even seeing that either. So right there in that moment, buyers were in control, and now they're nowhere to be fucking seen. So, right? But what I'm doing is I'm still short, and I'm looking at that information going, okay, buyers are relatively aggressive in here. But now I need to see what happens next. Because what just happened, happened. Large bid right there. Boom, it gets taken. So clearly in this overall region, it's just large traders trying to transact with each other. And if both parties are doing it together, if we're on the upper side of this larger transaction zone, it's going to be harder to get through this. So that's telling me we could potentially bounce off this area. But I don't know. I'm trying to hold this for a further target. So this is kind of really, it's all retail in here, and it's weak bids and weak offers because it keeps shoving. Now we got bigger buyers coming in. We're getting bigger buyers in roughly the same area where they previously hit. Okay. But now they're not there, and it keeps sinking in. Again, this is fair market value. This really isn't even a good fucking idea to really be trading. Large offer came in, so they're still doing large transactions with each other. Large buyers, they got absorbed right there. So these large buyers got absorbed by the sellers right here. Now the thing is, if the sellers do not continue to absorb right here, there could be a potential of a stop run up. There's the fucking stop run. And I've not seen this footage for fucking Thursday. Okay? So I didn't know that was going to fucking happen. I didn't fucking review it. I can't even fucking remember these trades after the fact. Okay? But I'm using order flow and my experience of 5 fucking years of staring at this shit to know what's going to happen in this one fucking market. That's how you read fucking order flow. That's how you read fucking order flow right there. There might be a stop out here because a bunch of buy orders fucking came in. The sellers reloaded on it. And if those sellers ain't going to continue to reload, they're going to get stop runned out. Obviously, it's coming back in. Where's our sellers? Where's our sellers? They're passively, they sold it. 223 lots came in and the market jerked down fucking 8 fucking ticks. So that's telling me the bids are weak within this relative region. Big selling, big selling, big selling. Right? Just because there's a fucking stop run doesn't mean that this won't come down. This is the ESE Mini, and if you've not seen it, it is a choppy motherfucker. It will chop you to fucking death. So, how does the order flow look in different markets is going to be completely different. But sometimes you need a stop run to clear out inventory to get the move going again. Right? That just went up on nothing, so the offers are weak. They had good selling pressure, but right in this region, the offers are weak. We know right here that they were absorbing, and right here is where we saw the stop run, and right here is where they got aggressive again. But if these sellers aren't stepping up to at this point, there's a high chance this is going to go up, and it's going to test a lot higher based off auction market theory. And again, that has nothing to do with this video. But I am factoring an order flow with a systems and style of fucking trading. Boom! There it goes, all the way on the fucking side. All right? And it's going to test higher. This is a value zone. And FYI, I'm going to pull this. There is a motherfucking bell curve right here. There is a fucking bell curve here. Okay? Auction market theory has a lot to do with distribution zones, and that is a distribution zone, and if one extreme of the curve gets tested and it doesn't continue to sell, it might test the other extreme, and that is what we are witnessing. And that is something I like to leverage in setups. Now, hitting in specific areas for specific reasons is a lot more fucking complex than that, because that is oversimplified shit, and if you try to do trading based off of just that snippet of information that I provided, you're going to get fucked up. Where the fuck did I go? There we go. All right. So now that I've seen that in combination with all the order flow, this ain't looking good because now it's getting closer to my trade entry, right? Now it's getting closer to my fucking entry. All right, it's coming back down on weak bids. That's okay. But can it test the other extreme down here? No, it can't. It's staying on this upper extreme zone, the upper end of the curve. You're getting a fuckload of fucking buying coming in. Right? And I'm going to just pull the trade because I know how fucking wrong this is going. I know it's getting aggressive. The retail tape is fast. These guys are buying. The sellers totally got fucking swept. That is, I'm using all that order flow and smashing it together to figure out who's in control at this moment, and sellers are no longer in control. That's how you fucking figure it out. That's how you figure it the fuck out. Okay? But how the fuck you gonna do that in a live environment without me pausing the fucking video? How are you gonna be able to process that motherfucking information when it's flowing nonstop very quickly? Experience, practice, tick drills, record, review. Right? And that's a unique fucking... That's a unique piece of information right there. As we look at more of these trades, all that information that we just witnessed was unique for that specific area under specific circumstances. All that information you saw could mean different shit. And I'm compounding all that order flow together to make a story. Okay? And a motherfucking footprint ain't gonna tell you what the fuck just happened there. A motherfucking footprint ain't gonna show you that the offer's just fucking pulled. Okay? All you're doing is seeing market orders, and then it's all compounding and overlaid, and you're not seeing if it went up on weak orders. You're not seeing that there's 15, 18, 12, 25, 21 lots that just traded on a footprint. Because if it was a 5 minute footprint, there'd be hundreds of lots that traded in that area on the footprint. And this is why I like to clear the market orders on the DOM, because I get a fresher view. And if those numbers are unusually small compared to what was sitting on the offer, then that is another sign that the offers have pulled. And somebody asked me this in the sweeping video, if I look at the polling columns. No, because I look at it like this. So, moral of the story is I think footprint is a load of dog shit. Again, footprint is literally the same thing as volume profile. And I use volume profile for setups, and it is a great fucking thing for that. But it ain't reading order flow on this fucking level, and this type of information is giving you information that you cannot get on a fucking footprint. How the fuck would I figure any of that shit out and come up with my idea to cut the trade on a footprint? I wouldn't have. Okay, and same thing with fucking cumulative delta. That is an absolute, in my opinion, a piece of shit fucking indicator that literally, and what that fucking does is all you're doing is taking market order buys and subtracting it from market order sells, and you've completely neutered order flow. That's not reading order flow. You've neutered the information coming from that tape, and you are not seeing the limit orders. And that's the problem. This is how the fucking market moves, is what is happening on the tape and the fucking DOM. Okay? This is how the fucking market moves. And anything else is literally a derivative of this information. The market only goes up and down based off of these 4 order types. That is it. All your candlestick charts, bar charts, are literally based off of what happened in the order flow. And all your technical indicators are taking those fucking highs and lows on those candlesticks and doing math and making a fucking indicator. And then you've removed yourself so far from order flow that it's no longer fucking order flow anymore. When you put a delta together, you're removing yourself so far from order flow that it's no longer order flow anymore. And I know people will fucking argue with me, but god damn it, people are asking me how I fucking do it. This is how I do it. This is how I feel about it. And that's how I feel about all that other bullshit. Can you use that other bullshit? Can you use a shit delta indicator? Which I, by the way, have been looking at delta forever, for years. And I still think it's a piece of fucking shit. But I still look at it because I want to understand it and try to use it. And there's times where it kind of tips you off this shit. But there's other times where it just doesn't matter. I'd rather get my fucking information from this fucking tool you see on the right side. Because that, to me, is better than fucking Delta. Because the Delta just, again, neuters out so much of this information that you're not going to be able to be super fucking precise and accurate. And that's a huge component of my trading. If you're not trying to be precise and accurate, then it doesn't fucking matter. None of this fucking matters, right? But people fucking ask me all the time, how do you do this? How do you... This is how. And these are my opinions. So now we're out of the fucking trade. Let's go ahead and look at the next trade. This is going to be a long motherfucking video. The next trade is at 844. Honestly, I don't even really want to look at all of these trades. This video is fucking long enough. I think I got to the point. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the last... we're going to look at the trade where I picked up $1,000. Go to the beginning of the video. We'll just go ahead and look at the big trade. Actually, no, let's look at it. Let's actually look at a fucking losing trade. Let's look at a losing trade first. Okay, and then we'll do the big one, because I'm not going to do all the trades, so I lied to you guys, sorry. I just don't want to continue to do this video forever. I've been yelling and screaming, I'm getting a fucking headache. So let's go to 843. So here's 843. Right? So I'm going to make the entry at 94, which is way up there. So what's going on here is all random and mixed up. I don't have a good read on the market in here, so a lot of the order flow at this point isn't going to make that much sense to me. But let's just continue to watch this and kind of look at order flow from a minute's perspective. There's a lot of retail here. It keeps jerking down, but now it's going back up. So it's relatively not quite weak offers. We're seeing moments of absorption in here. But on either side of that absorption, it's puking out in both directions. And since it puked out harder on this low end, it's testing the upper extreme here. We got liquidity there, which just got taken. Again, there's going to be liquidity right here, which is going to get taken. There it goes. And large buyers took it at 84.50. So now it's kind of all squishy in here. Massive run up. Kind of weak offers. Now it's getting passive right here. So sellers are passively stepping up in this region. Huge amount of buying right there. So that wasn't necessarily a stop run. That was just a lot of large buyers sweeping that area. Okay, and that's how I can tell there was sweeping. Now, sweeping happens all the time, but that's more meaningful sweep. And now they're continuing to buy. Are sellers going to take over? I don't know. The next liquidity zone was right up here. So, again, this is all just structurally where we are on the volume profile. It's going to trade like a load of shit here. It's going to be messy. And the order flow is going to be extra confusing. And trying to pinpoint a quality setup in here is going to be a motherfucker. So now it's going up. More liquidity up here. That also gets taken. So the overall buying is pretty substantial. We're not seeing really passive selling. We're seeing bits and pieces of liquidity zones. But that's about it. Okay, now we're starting to see a bit more absorption here. We're not seeing the massive amounts of buying like we were. Nah, yeah, I'm kind of still seeing it. So there you go. It's a huge rally. Still more buying. Still more buying. Just because you see that buying doesn't mean you should just buy the motherfucker, because at this point it could just collapse in. Right? Another liquidity zone up here. I'm going short. Oh, shit. Why? Because it's a setup. This is a higher time frame setup. For higher time frame purposes on a very large picture. So for me, it makes sense to go short here. Why did I go short here? Because let's watch it again as it's coming up. So it it's getting stuck here. Getting stuck here. Rally up. It comes right back. It's getting stuck. It's getting stuck. Rally up, but that rally up is not as good as the rally down there. Notice that anytime the large buyers came in, it went a large move, a slightly not as large move, a slightly less of a move, and then this last cluster of buying was an even smaller shove up. So every time the buyers were hitting, it became less and less of a shove up. So that to me is a potential point of turning, but it's also based off of a setup. There's another shove, and it immediately comes back down, where we got these two sellers that came in, and when these two sellers came in, right, it went down, it shoved down really fucking fast, and it went further than 91.20 or 94.25, right? It fucking shoved beyond 94.25, so that's telling me the bids are weak. And generally, not always, but when you have a huge freight train of a move with aggressive buying and they keep putting it further and further and further out, there's not going to be, most likely, there won't be passive buying. So therefore, the bids might be weak in this region, and this is being propped up on just aggressive buying at this point. How do I fucking know that? Fucking experience. And I'm formulating an idea based off of this. I'm formulating an idea off of what I've seen. So how are you going to figure that out on your fucking own? I don't fucking know, but that's how I do it. So that should answer your guys' fucking questions when you're like, how do you find? And you notice this is a lot different type of order flow than what we've been watching. Okay, another shove up. And I go short right here, shoves up, because it comes in here and it starts sticking in this region. This is exactly where I wanted to get in. Weak bids, it's puking. Weak bids, it's puking. Right? Now it's kind of coming back up. It's getting stuck. I saw some more big buying. That's not a good sign. This isn't a good sign. I'm going to let it test me once. I'm going to try to break even there. I can't fucking get out at this point. I'm hoping it'll go against me, but these fucking offers aren't here. The offers are weak. That's not good. And there's a liquidity zone here. That's probably going to get taken. That gets taken, so I'm going to cut this fucking trade. I'm hoping to get a break even, and I pull it right there as soon as I saw that big buying. As soon as I see this clusterfuckus of buying coming in, so it goes down, I'm hoping to get the break even. As soon as I see this clusterfuckus, it's like, we need to get the fuck out. And I got out right before it would have stopped me out. Okay? Or did I get stopped out on that? No, that was a full-on stop out. It actually hit my stop. So I didn't get out. But there you go. Fuck, I thought they had it right there, but they didn't. So, right? I thought they had it there, but they didn't. So, and I did step in front of a train, but it didn't make sense at that time, and for me, it was worth the attempt. But the way it was floating and hesitating above my entry, that's where it kind of, just that movement, that flutterness on the DOM is what I'm using to kind of manage as well. But let's look at the $1,000 win, and then I'm cutting it. I ain't doing all these fucking trades. I'm not getting paid enough to do this shit. And this is exactly why if I made this, this is exactly why if I was to explain my trading, it would be a 30-hour piece of material that I'm gonna fucking sell, because I don't get enough off of this. If you guys appreciate this fucking lesson, I do have a Ko-fi link. Feel free to donate to that as a thank you. You don't have to. But I'd appreciate that. So anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next trade, which is at 847. We'll go a couple ticks in the future here. I think that's another trade. Wait, is this the right trade? Hold on. That's a different trade. That's also a different trade as well. And notice that's still in that 94 region, I believe it was. So I'm refighting that area. And it looks like I pulled it because it did come back up. And I made 25 bucks, so I pulled it for a tick as it was coming back up. So we could There it is. Yeah, see, it's coming back in. So this particular entry went really far in my favor. Now it's coming back in. So all that shoving up, weak offers, was just a sign to at least pick up a tick. So what I think you're going to see me do here in the next minute is reattempt the same area. Let's just wait and see. So it's very weak offers and bids. We're not really seeing much of anything. It's just so volatile in this region. And also, if you probably notice, is I'm trading 2 contracts with 12 tick stops. So somebody is at, I used to be a 6 tick rigid stops. And this type of volatility, this is where I've made adjustments. I have a video called Adjustments. Check it out. If you've not watched most of my videos, then you need to. But the adjustment video, I talk about how I'm making this adjustment. And this is a prime example of scaling down size so I could get a bigger stop loss. That's all explained in that video. All right, so now it's again, this entry is going to be at 2 in about a minute. So it's just moving around a lot at this point. Now we're starting to see some sort of absorption in here. I go long. I'm trying to get long here based off of a setup, a bigger picture setup. Remember, I was originally getting short here. The last trade where we went on the full-on entry and stuff was me attempting to get short there, and it's not working. And based off of it not working and the fact that the market is simply not selling off is starting to tell me that buyers are in control on a bigger picture perspective. The fucking order flow necessarily isn't going to tell me that. But based off of just the way that it just keeps trying to go down and it's just not going, tells me that buyers are continuously catching it down there, and it's just the sellers are not there. It shouldn't be tested 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking times and not selling off. That's an unnatural amount of fucking shit going on. Typically a test of 2, 3 times it should go. On the third test, usually I should be seeing it going. But if we ain't going off of multiple fucking probes and shit, then clearly one side is in control. But the thing is, you got to continuously look at the order flow, and just put it all together and make a story. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing in this video, is I literally am making a story out of the order flow. Okay? So I want to get filled somewhere in that area. Not a specific price. I'm willing to trade a specific area, especially in this volatility. So I know it looks like I'm chasing, but I am not chasing. See how I keep canceling the orders and shit? I need to get filled rapidly, and I'm not. So I'm trying to get filled in this area. I don't want to get filled here, but I'm willing to get filled up here if this market keeps fluttering up the way it is. So it's fluttering up. We clearly have weak offers. I cancel the order. It's kind of shoving down. It might puke, and I want it to potentially puke into me. There it goes. It pukes into me. Right, there we go, and it keeps fluttering up. There's weak offers here. We're not seeing big selling, and there we go. So, and then that order flow, the way I showed it to you, really doesn't paint that good of a fucking picture. This is based off bigger picture context that clearly sellers cannot puke the broader market down. There is unnatural lows going on, and they are not able to get it. And there's also a bigger picture setup in this region. In my region, I'm using very small microstructure to hit in specific areas. Like when we see the entry, I'm willing to get long here or up here, but not right here. And there's specific fucking reasons for that, and this video isn't it. And if I'm going to explain that, that's going to be in paid fucking content. Alright? So now we're going to just kind of watch it as it goes up. Big buying, weak offers. I pull that because that is the market. When you're seeing my targets, that is simply showing me where a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio would be. If I'm risking 12 ticks, where would 24 ticks be? Because I want to roughly know where where I would pick up a 2-to-1. Do I want to get out there? No. This is a bigger picture setup. This should go a lot fucking further than this. But if it starts struggling near my 2-to-1, I might start pulling. And guess what? It's struggling near my 2-to-1. So I pull one lot off, and I still have another one lot on. Okay? So I continue to hold. Market's starting to sell. We're starting to see stickiness. We're starting to see reloading. It comes all the way to me, right? The bid's kind of crapped out, but the offers aren't there either. And when you don't have stout bids or stout offers, it starts whipping around like that. And when that's fucking happening, that specific area is not a good idea to trade. Right? But these more stickier areas where it starts to tighten up, that's usually a better spot for potential entries. Is that always the case? No. Because now look at that. All of this selling in the market is not going down. Clearly, buyers are going to hold this fucking area at this point in time. Right? Going up, weak offers, but we're not seeing the buying we want to see. Yes, the buyers are being passive. The sellers are being aggressive, but the buyers aren't being aggressive and the sellers aren't being passive. So that's a combination of all four orders working in unison. So we're getting stuck here, right? Liquidity up here, that gets taken. It blows the fuck out, right? Going up, no offers up there. Right? I'm looking to potentially get out here because I have a target right around 16. Okay, now it's starting to stall here. So it's starting to stall here, and I got out, so that one order got filled. Close enough. Close enough to 16. I ain't gonna try to get out exactly at fucking 16. I need to fix all that. So I ain't trying to get out exactly fucking 16. Okay? So close enough. I'm working a specific range on both fucking sides. So I'm sure that video left you multiples of questions about my trading, and this is exactly why my trading would take 30 fucking hours to explain, and I'm not giving everything the fuck away. You guys, when I talked about trading courses and me potentially doing it, you guys a lot of you have confirmed you would buy shit from me. I know traders personally that tell me I should have been selling shit years ago, but I was never in a place where I felt worthy to sell shit. I felt my trading needed to hit a specific level of performance before I was ever qualified to actually sell something. And now I feel that is the point. You guys confirmed you would buy it. This is not going to be a $99 fucking course, okay? This is fucking really rich, in-depth motherfucking information. Just understand that going into this motherfucker, okay? And there's so much shit. I need to spin. This is the order flow in high volatility environment. I need to talk about order flow in low volatility environment, medium volatility environment. I need to go over many different day types, explaining exactly what you fucking saw here, and just explain the order flow. And then I need to go back and show you this exact same fucking footage and explain another component like the volume profile on it. Then I need to go back through the same fucking footage and show you what it looks like putting it to fucking together. Because you need this shit in bite size. That's a lot of fucking information. That was happening very quickly. And if you're trying to process all this different shit, you're not going to be able to get it. Because I need to fucking go through all of my trading with a fine-tooth motherfucking comb. And I need to go over some of the same fucking shit you saw and isolate each individual component. And then start smashing it together. So that way you can understand how I'm processing and thinking about this information when I'm taking fucking trades. Okay? And this is why it would take me a tremendous amount of effort to make to give you an idea, because I'm not putting out some half-ass shit, and I'm not going to just release stuff in small chunks. Okay, I don't want to do that. You're getting one fucking thing. There you go. All right? So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you've not watched a lot of the shit on this channel, you probably fucking should, because it might just answer some of your fucking questions. Okay, and you can take what you just saw in this fucking video, and you could probably go watch some of my flow state videos. I have a playlist called Flow State. That is just a fun montage video. Take what you fucking seen in this and look at those flow state episodes again if you've not watched them, or if you have, watch them again, and apply some of these principles and try to make a fucking story around my entries. And those videos might make more fucking sense. Alright guys, I've had enough of this shit. Sorry I didn't go over all the fucking trades. I lied to you, but you know what? I'm so lightheaded, I feel like I'm gonna pass the fuck out. This video is already too long. See you guys in the next one.